Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the SHU Student Athlete Sit Down Series. Dan Gardella here with you always. This time, joined by a freshman on the Sacred Heart men's basketball team, Mike Sixsmith, who is off to a pretty solid start at the beginning of his freshman season at Sacred Heart, currently averaging 8.5 points to go along with 2 rebounds and 2.5 assists per game. Mike, thanks so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
So you're a couple games now into your college career. What has been the biggest adjustment from playing high school to now taking the step up and playing at the college level?
I think the biggest adjustment is just like your body. It's just everybody's like smaller in high school, and once you get to college, you're facing men, not really boys anymore. So it's more important to just have your body stronger and your mindset too, because that's most important.
So far, right now in conference play, you guys are 4-3. You guys are fighting for position in the Northeast Conference. You're currently sitting at 5th right now prior to your series against St. Francis this upcoming week. What has been the biggest key to you guys being so successful early on in conference play?
I mean, we're a young team, so I think the most important thing for us is just our chemistry together. I think we have really good leaders like Alex, Tyler, and AC who have been amazing, and we have a great coaching staff. So I think the most important thing is just the chemistry that we have. We play good off each other, unselfish. We play defense, so it's most important.
What makes the trio that you said of Alex Watson, Aaron Clark, and Tyler Thomas, what makes them such good leaders?
Um, their play. I mean, AC is battling with injuries, so that just shows him how tough he is. So Alex has been here for 3.5 years, 4 years, and didn't really get his chance. But this year he got his chance, and he's balling out. And Tyler is best player in the conference, in my opinion. He can score and he does everything, but they're also good just as friends and as just regular normal people besides being a basketball player.
And there was an interesting stat prior to the CCSU game, according to Ken Palm, you led the country in offensive efficiency, which obviously takes into account shooting percentage, assist to turnover ratio. How does your basketball IQ allow you to take the right shot on the court or make the right pass so that you can be as efficient as you can be to lead the country in that category?
I think the most important thing for me was just I was like growing up, I was with such good coaches, my high school coach and my AAU coach and my father, of course, but it's just playing at your own pace. As a shooter, you need to have a rhythm, and I think I'm in a really good rhythm right now, and my IQ just plays off what everybody else is doing. So I don't need much to get going, but just to see that ball go through the net once just makes me more efficient and play at my own pace.
And so far through the first several games of the season, you're shooting 57% from the field and 57% from three. When you have numbers as high as that shooting, do you feel yourself getting antsy that you want to shoot more and, now that you're in that kind of a rhythm?
Yeah, definitely. But just going back, you have to be unselfish. We're an unselfish team, so I got to be an unselfish player. And I think the most thing for me is just to be an assist guy more than a scorer because we have a lot of good scorers. So having 10 assists is better than having 30 points, in my opinion. And having 2 steals is better than having 5 threes a game. I'm fine with that. I just want to fill the box score for the team.
And you talked about how you guys are such a young team. You're one of the youngest teams in the country. You have 8 freshmen. You had 9 newcomers to this year's team. But it seems that every night there's somebody different making a play or stepping up and helping your team be as successful as you guys have been. What does it say about the depth that you have, and how do you use that depth in these back-to-back games that the Northeast Conference has for their scheduling?
We're a very deep team, guard-wise and forward-wise. We have 4 really good forwards, and we have a lot of good guards. And for the back-to-back games, it's super important to just stay consistent, to have a motor and have more of like a toughness about us, because obviously we lost our first game a couple of times, but second game we come out strong and we have that motor and that toughness on the defensive end, which is the most important part of the game. So coach always preaches how we're a tough, really tough team and an unselfish team. So we just try to bring it out on the court.
And this week, you continue your Northeast Conference play. You host St. Francis for a pair of games on Thursday and Friday. The last time these two teams met was in the Northeast Conference semifinals back in March, and past couple matches between you and the Red Flash have been intense, high energy, often a close game. What do you have to do this week to be able to continue to add on to your 4-3 mark in conference play?
Defense. We want to be a really good defensive team, and I think we're getting there. And we will score. Everybody knows we're going to score, but if we can lock them on the defensive end, then scoring will happen. And I think we just vibe off each other when we're like locked in defensively. I think the energy is different.
Well, Mike, thanks so much for joining me on the latest edition of the SHU Student Athlete Sit Down Series. Best of luck against the Red Flash this week, as well as the rest of your freshman campaign.
Thanks for having me.